Actually, it's a relatively new body. Can you explain its role and what your experience as a commissioner was in the UPR last cycle, as well as other, treaty body mechanisms as a commissioner for the National Commission? Did you find? Sorry.
जी अस्सलाम वालेकुम जी Sara, thank you very much, and Haris, thank you very much for organizing this space. This is for Pakistan again taking the lead on this very important thought. In fact, before going to the discussion of what is the NCHR role, I would say a few words about the importance of UPR as compared to the other treaty. They're only to the extent of those rights which are provided in those treaties, and these treaty committees, like Human Rights Committee, will not discuss the economic, social, cultural rights, and economic, social, cultural rights will not discuss the specific. The UPR, we have the human rights campaigners and the human rights concerned bodies, organizations which have this opportunity to contribute the report in the human rights system. So it's very important for any state to have a status NHRA if it wants that its human rights record should be improved in the international system. And
the recommendations in the previous this current UPR cycle, and in general, based on the Committee on the Rights of the Child's previous concluding recommendations, and we have an upcoming review. Where do you think Pakistan has made progress, and where do you think there is still some road to be covered? And if there is, what should be the priority areas of focus in child rights?
Oh, hello. Good evening, all of you, and thank you very much, Justice Project Pakistan, for inviting me to this discussion. I think the first, what really strikes when you look at the recommendation of the UPR is that they are very coherent, and many of them really focus on the same type of issues. If you really want to summarize those that relate to children, you essentially, in my view, certainly have to focusing on empowering the National Commission on Human Rights, because so far and that can entertain complaints.
In KP, but nothing was in Pakistan, in Punjab. So in the result of that writ petition, we saw there was a notification by the government to ban the corporal punishment in all the educational institutes, and there was a move from the department itself to promulgate some laws, and they have been in the process of drafting these laws and
concerned citizens as well. It was actually on the ambiguity of certain definitional clauses, and that is what the Federal State Court kind of addressed, is as who are we actually speaking to. And I think the drafting of the bill, of course, like any other bill, Sarah, there's always some areas that are left, sometimes intentionally, sometimes.
Hey, body. Would you like to say something about what is I know that very few journalists, well, we're trying now, understand what these international mechanisms are, that they should be actually looking at them and understanding them and reporting on them accordingly, because look, the international community is raising their voice on behalf of these journalists and for their protection. So do you want to talk about this issue a little bit?
जी बिल्कुल, ये आपने अच्छी बात की है. प्रोटेक्शन ऑफ जर्नलिस्ट के जो इश्यूज हैं वो हाईलाइट हुए हैं, और इंटरनेशनल कंसर्न जो है वो यूपीआर रिकमेंडेशन की सूरत में सामने आया है. और पाकिस्तान की जो इस सिचुएशन है ना, दैट आल्सो कॉल्स फॉर attention of all the stakeholders towards the freedom of expression and the safety of journalists.
But if you look at the GSP Plus scheme for the last 10 years, as human rights activists on the ground, and especially human rights activists who I respect immensely because of the dedication that you show to this work, what would be your honest assessment of the direction? And I mean, not just the currents on top of the water, but the undercurrents of Pakistan's human rights progress. Which way are they headed? Based on your experience as human rights activists. Valerie, would you like to answer that question?
Wow, what an honor to be the first one. I think, to be honest, again, good news don't sell. All right. So the fact that the progress and the positive aspects of our human rights, I would say trajectory is not highlighted is not new. It's not only Pakistan which is in this case. Okay. But I think if we objectively look at again what we've done so far, we can see that at least in the field of child rights and women rights, a lot of progress has been made for legislation, that's for sure. In the field of child rights, there also has been tangible progress made to enforce those child protection laws, the establishment of Child Protection Institute, the recruitment of child protection officers, the capacity building of different state actors, including justice actors, the piloting of child protection courts and some specific juvenile courts. The problem is that we need to make sure that whatever positive space took place,
I'm Dr. Khurram Raja, Professor of Forensic Medicine and working as Head of Department in Aziz Fatma Medical and Dental College, Faisalabad. It was my cases on the basis of which we were able to pass the act of law in Pakistan. So, as it is already mentioned by someone just a short time ago, that we need to engage now. We need to make a roadmap and we need to proceed and progress on that. One thing which is quite lacking is the doctors who examine cases of police torture. They do not know anything about the guidelines of Istanbul Protocol, which is direly needed to examine the cases on international guidelines. This is one thing that we need to do. The second thing is that everybody can see the political situation in Pakistan, the condition of human rights, the deterioration of human rights. So, one thing which I have observed very keenly, that our courts, they do not follow and they do not go for medical legal examination of the victims who put allegation on police for the torture. So we need to create awareness in the courts also. So they can and they should go for medical legal examination of those victims. So these are my two recommendations and my comment on this discussion. It was wonderful discussion. My congratulations to the organizers. Thank you very much.